Part 63. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 621. Qin Feng's eyes were slightly cold. In an instant, he stood in the 8 forbidden area and slapped his palm in the direction. The Qin seal of the earthly immortal turned into a huge palm print in front of Qin Feng's palm. On the palm print, the interweaving of qi and li flowed, and there were flowers, birds, fish and insects engraved on it, which was extremely real. At this critical moment of life and death, the Qin seal pressed forward with a terrifying force, as if it dominated the sun and moon in the world. Boom! In the split second, the assassin of the Killer God dynasty pointed his sword forward to intercept Qin Feng's Qin seal. Between the two, a sky-high light burst out, energy was raging, and ripples were transmitted in the void. The terrifying fluctuations were extremely terrifying. The master of the Killer God dynasty was stopped by Qin Feng, but he was not afraid. There was a terrible killing intent in his eyes. He took the initiative to accept the order of the elders of the Killer God dynasty branch hall and came to kill Qin Feng. As a top assassin on the human list, he had never failed. At this moment, Lan Qi, Jia and others gathered. The battlefield was not far away. They who were originally preparing to leave stopped and turned back. The assassins of the Killer dynasty were notorious. Once they were discovered by the monks, they would be attacked by the crowd. I advise you not to make mistakes, otherwise you will be killed without mercy. The assassin on the list of the Killer dynasty felt the monks around him ready to move. There was a strong confidence in his eyes and he shouted loudly. He had a strong confidence in his own strength. Facing many monks surrounding him, he was arrogant and fearless. He had practiced the concealment skills of the Killer dynasty to the extreme. Even if he failed to hit, he felt that he could leave calmly. It's just a thing that can't be seen in the light. Why are you so arrogant? Qin Feng showed a chill on his face. He asked Ye Cheng and others to ride on the crane and the peacock to retreat. This person can become a master of the Killer divine dynasty, his strength must be extraordinary, he does not want the aftermath of the battle to affect everyone. Countless cultivators around were whispering, this person actually dared to come to attack Qin Feng around the Suzaku Holy Land, which made them admire him. Attacking the Holy Sun in the Suzaku Holy Land is simply taking advantage of the fire, which is enough to show that this killer of the Killer divine dynasty is very crazy. Qin Feng, you are just an abandoned child of the Qin clan, how dare you offend our Killer divine dynasty, today I will send you to death. The killer of the Killer divine dynasty smiled grimly, waved the killing sword in his hand, and flew towards Qin Feng. His speed was extremely fast, showing a terrifying body movement, and his cultivation reached the 3rd level of the lords. With such strength, even the patriarch of the Bingling clan that Qin Feng met was slightly inferior. This person is full of murderous intent, and feels even stronger than Wu Ling. I don't know if Mr. Qin can accomplish his mission and kill this killer from the Killer dynasty. The countless cultivators around were talking in low voices. The killer from the Killer dynasty in front of them was full of murderous aura. It was obvious that no less than 100 people had died at his hands. Qi. In the air, there was an astonishing murderous aura. The killer on the list of the Killer dynasty merged with the void and disappeared in an instant. A sneer appeared at the corner of Qin Feng's mouth. He had seen the hidden skills of the Killer dynasty many times and was already familiar with them. Boom. At the moment when the opponent attacked, Qin Feng slapped out a palm. Under the blessing of the 9 prohibitions, the Qin seal was extremely strong and powerful. In the air, a real mountain appeared and suppressed the killer on the list of the Killer dynasty. The killer who had just revealed his figure immediately changed color. He did not expect Qin Feng to have noticed his whereabouts and completely suppressed him with a handprint. How is it possible? Qin Feng only has the cultivation of the 2nd level of Wuxiang, how can he be so terrifying? He can actually see through my hiding method. The killer on the list of the killer dynasty was completely panicked, with horror in his eyes and a bad premonition in his heart. He now strongly suspected that the seed-level player of the killer dynasty near the waterfall was killed by Qin Feng. No, I can only escape. The killer on the list of the killer dynasty showed fear in his eyes. He knew that if he did not leave now, he would probably be buried here. Qin Feng's Qin Conceal, as a top-level martial art of the Earth Immortal, has a power that has exceeded the imagination of the vassal domain. The terrifying big handprint suppressed the front, making the killer feel deeply afraid. Swish. The assassin on the list of the assassins of the assassin dynasty no longer dared to be arrogant. His face was full of fear. He made a decision in an instant, and fled far away with mysterious steps. At this moment, he did not hesitate to burn all his energy and spirit. His speed was extremely fast, as if he had turned into light, and he moved tens of thousands of meters in the blink of an eye. Want to run? Can you run away? Qin Feng's eyes bloomed with a cold light, and in the blink of an eye, the immortal weapon Barrett appeared in his palm. Boom! The immortal weapon Barrett made a roar, and a fairy gold bullet with a long tail flame pierced through the void. In an instant, it came tens of thousands of meters away and caught up with the assassin on the list of the assassin dynasty. Puff! Without any suspense, Barrett's fairy gold bullet locked the opponent's figure. The assassin had no ability to resist, and was directly shot in the head, completely losing his life. Hiss! All the monks around were stunned. Such a terrifying master of the killer god dynasty was killed by Qin Feng, which made people tremble with fear. You know, the opponent fled tens of thousands of meters away. At such a long distance, Qin Feng could actually use such a terrifying weapon to kill the enemy 10,000 meters away, which was really unbelievable. What kind of weapon is this? What a terrible hidden weapon, could it be the rumored earthly weapon? Many monks were all shocked, and countless discussions sounded. The power of the immortal weapon Barrett that Qin Feng took out casually really exceeded their imagination. Such power was really terrifying. The killer of the killer god dynasty had no chance to resist at all, and fell on the spot, completely becoming a corpse, which made them all terrified. Especially the princes and heirs of the great Yan kingdom, they looked at the immortal weapon Barrett in Qin Feng's hand, all of them were trembling with fear, and had a bad idea in their hearts. If they were at odds with Qin Feng, and the other party used such a terrifying weapon to lock onto them from 10,000 meters away, they would be able to escape. Even a bigger idea was brewing. If Qin Feng used this magical weapon to attack and kill the Emperor of Great Yan, would he be able to achieve success? Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 622. After killing the assassin of the assassin dynasty, Qin Feng discovered that a star gold scratch-off card appeared on the spot. Qin Feng said hello, rode a peacock and a crane, led everyone to the corpse of the killer on the list of killer gods, and picked up the scratch-off card. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You successfully used the star gold scratch-off card and received 20 rounds of fairy gold bullets. Qin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. He had already used fairy gold bullets several times, and it was extremely difficult to refine them. Now the system has rewarded 20 more rounds, which is enough to greatly increase his strength and make him feel a little excited. There was quite a storm here. Countless monks from the Yan kingdom recovered from the shock and returned to the imperial city. Qin Feng and the others, flying in the clouds and riding the mist, returned to the Suzaku Holy Land. After returning to the Suzaku Holy Land, Qin Feng finally breathed a sigh of relief. With his strength, he was naturally not afraid of danger. However, the killers of the assassin dynasty have strange movements and are even more ruthless in their attacks. If he were the only one, he would not be afraid. However, this time, all the girls were following him. If he was attacked by the crowd of killers again, he would be frightened, fearing that several of them would be harmed. Qing Cheng, in the Great Yan Kingdom, is there a branch of the Assassin dynasty? Killing intent bloomed in Qin Feng's eyes. He had been assassinated many times by killers sent by the Killer God dynasty, and the anger in his heart reached a peak. If this revenge is not avenged, Qin Feng will really have trouble sleeping and eating. Yes, when I was in the Killer dynasty, I remember that there was indeed a branch hall of the Killer dynasty in the imperial city of the Yan Kingdom. Ye Qingchen nodded. As a former goddess of the Assassin dynasty, she knew many secrets of the Assassin dynasty. It was because of this that she was assassinated when she was in the Hero's Tower. However, the cunning rabbit has 3 caves. The Killer dynasty has 3 branches in the Yan Kingdom. Now we have alerted the enemy, and we don't know which stronghold they will hide in. Ye Qingchen analyzed to Qin Feng and said that the people of the Killer God dynasty were so scheming that they might have changed their base for fear of the encirclement and suppression of the Suzaku Holy Land. No matter how many there are, no matter how many strongholds they have, I will pull them out one by one, let the Killer dynasty divide the palace, and eliminate them in Yanbei first. He has been assassinated repeatedly, which has brought the anger in Qin Feng's heart to the extreme. At this time, he is not strong enough to compete with the entire Assassin dynasty. However, he must first destroy the branch hall of the Assassin dynasty and collect it. It can still be done with a little interest. Half a month later, Qin Feng rode a dragon horse and led Ye Qingchen alone into Yanhuang City. At this time, the Zuk mansion in Emperor Yan City had already become the focus of attention for many powerful people in the Great Yan Kingdom. Of course, with the foundation of the Suzaku Holy Land, those people dare not act rashly, otherwise they will not be able to withstand the wrath of the Suzaku Holy Land. If Qin Feng goes to the mansion first, then every move he makes will be subject to people's opinions. Nowadays, the entire Yanbei imperial city is rumored about the majesty of Qin Feng God's royal body, and Qin Feng's mansion has naturally become the target of public criticism. In order not to alarm others, Qin Feng did not enter the mansion. He and Ye Qingchen took advantage of the darkness and came to the vicinity of the first branch hall of the Killer God dynasty. The two of them checked into the imperial city, and the tallest building was an inn. This inn had lush vegetation and tinkling spring water, which was extremely extraordinary. Especially the rockery, Qin Feng fell in love with it at a glance. The rockery was high enough for Qin Feng to use it as an observation point. He and Ye Qingchen came to the top of the mountain, took out the fairy weapon Barret, and observed the movement in the Assassin's Dynasty branch hall through the scope. The person in charge of the restaurant was not surprised that a man and a woman alone appeared on the top of the rockery in the restaurant. Because it is just a normal thing for young people to lie on the top of a rockery at night and have fun. Through the heavy fog, Qin Feng borrowed the sight of the immortal weapon Barret and discovered the movement in the stronghold of the Killer dynasty. In this stronghold of the Assassin Dynasty branch hall, it is not peaceful even in the middle of the night. As the Assassin Dynasty branch hall, there are countless experts patrolling it. Among them, Qin Feng discovered many young people. These people were snatched by the Killer God dynasty and prepared to train them to become the future top killers of the Killer God dynasty. There are many young men using medicinal liquid to refine their bodies. Qin Feng told Ye Qingchen what he saw, which made Ye Qingchen's eyes freeze. Back then, she fought her way out among so many young girls and became the goddess of the Assassin dynasty. The suffering she suffered was really fresh in her memory. It seems that this is not the stronghold of the Divine Dynasty branch, but just a branch to train future killers. After you destroyed the training place of the Killer Divine Dynasty in the mountains, they should have moved here. Ye Qingchen's green hair was fluttering, and there was a trace of unbearable color in her eyes, but she knew that she could not save these young girls with her own strength. Are we going to the next base? Ye Qingchen asked Qin Feng. Qin Feng came here to destroy the branch of the Assassin dynasty. If he wanted to save these people and make extra trouble, it might disrupt his steps. No, destroying the branches of the Assassin dynasty is just one of them. What I want to do most is to make the assassin dynasty famous in the world. In Qin Feng's eyes, murderous intent bloomed. The Killer God dynasty has caused trouble to the world for a long time. If he abandons this place and goes to another place, these boys and girls here will also be moved to other places by them. By then, even if he kills all the elders in the branch temple, he will not be able to exterminate the assassin dynasty, because these children will become the future foundation of the assassin dynasty. If I want to make the assassin dynasty pay the price, I must first nip their seeds in the bud. Qin Feng firmed up his thoughts. He could feel the intolerance in Ye Qingqing's eyes. The other party absolutely wanted to save these people and did not want them to make the same mistakes as she did. But if this is the case, the elders of the Killer dynasty may flee if they get the news. Ye Qingqing's face lit up when she heard this, but she still said with a worried look. The people of the Killer dynasty are extremely cautious. Once they get the slightest hint of the situation here, they will run away. It will be extremely difficult to find them. It doesn't matter, I have already secretly sneaked into the Suzaku mansion and asked the spies in the mansion to carefully investigate the large-scale relocation of the Suzaku Holy Land. Once the Killer dynasty reacts and wants to escape, it will never escape the eyes and ears of the Suzaku Holy Land. Qin Feng's eyes were filled with murderous intent, and his fiery eyes were watching every move. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 623. The stronghold of the Killer God dynasty is a merchant's villa on the surface, but there is something special inside. There is a formation in the inner courtyard, and Qin Feng has piercing eyes, so he can use his powerful vision from 10,000 meters away. Observe the movements. In a room, Qin Feng found a terrifying old man. His aura was restrained, but there was an inexplicable reason around him. He seemed to be able to swallow everything and was extremely powerful. Call out. A crisp sound rang over the restaurant and inn. Qin Feng decisively and simply pressed Barrett's trigger. The huge roar alarmed all the tenants in the inn, causing the place to change immediately. Gotta be noisy. Damn, what's going on? A group of people cursed and pushed open the door. Those who could stay in this luxurious inn were all extraordinary, and without exception they were all monks. Many people looked at the top of the rockery, and their powerful spiritual consciousness sensed that the place where the movement occurred was just above the rockery. Qin Feng's eyes were sharp, and he discovered that the immortal gold bullet had hit the head of the enshrinement in the other courtyard without causing much commotion. He put away his Barrett and prepared to take Ye Qingcheng to directly raid the stronghold of the Killer dynasty. What's going on with you two? The person in charge of the inn immediately flew over the rockery. His cultivation was in the formless realm and he was also a monk with considerable strength. But his level is simply not enough for Qin Feng. Do you know that the guests who live in our inn are all distinguished guests? Can you two afford to offend them? Who are you? Are you tired of living a life that dares to cause trouble in our place? The person in charge of the inn was very displeased in his eyes. Anyone who dared to cause trouble here really didn't know how to live or die. Upon hearing this, Qin Feng's face darkened. He glanced at the manager coldly and prepared to treat the other person as a fart and leave. However, Qin Feng's tolerance made the inn steward feel that he was afraid. The other party suddenly waved, and the goons in the inn stepped forward one after another, surrounding Qin Feng and the two of them, with murderous intent in their eyes. Do you know where this place is? You want to run away when you get into trouble? Are you looking for death? The inn steward's eyes were filled with fierceness, and he glanced at Ye Qingcheng aside with good intentions. Ye Qingcheng's figure is elegant and light, especially out of the world. She stands quietly beside Qin Feng. Under the reflection of the night, She looks like a fairy descending to the mortal world. She is really beautiful. Seeing such a lovely beauty made him think. Behind this inn, standing was a prince known as the imperial city of Yan. This made the person in charge of the inn feel confident. "Are you talking to me?" Qin Feng's eyes were focused, and there was a strong murderous intention in his eyes. His voice was very cold. If his time was delayed, the people of the killer dynasty might react faster. The people who live in our inn are all precious guests. You caused such a big noise and had a very bad impact on our inn. Please go and apologize to those guests immediately. The person in charge of the inn had an extremely cold voice. Then he waved his hand, and the many guards behind him immediately stepped forward, with terrifying murderous intent blooming from their bodies. Their strength should not be underestimated. "Are you teaching me how to do things?" Qin Feng's eyes turned cold, and his figure suddenly disappeared out of thin air. The next moment, the person in charge of the inn appeared in front of him and slapped him. Crack! Qin Feng's slap was simple and direct. He did not use the 9 forbidden rules, but a casual palm. With the powerful power of his body, he instantly slapped the person in charge of the inn away. All this happened so fast that everyone was shocked. The nursing staff and guards did not react at all, and the person in charge was shot away. This is really jaw-dropping. Brothers, take him down and smash his face. The person in charge of the inn covered his red and swollen cheeks, his teeth, and blood spurted out, which made him extremely angry. As his voice fell, the surrounding nursing elders surged with energy, and they all rushed towards Qin Feng. This scene made Qin Feng furious. His slap just now did not have much impact on the person in charge of the inn, because he did not want the other person's life, but just wanted him to retreat in spite of difficulties. But he didn't expect that the other party would refuse to give up. At this moment, Qin Feng became completely angry. He was going to eradicate the dynasty of assassins. It was really disgusting that these people dared to block his way. "Go away, you have delayed my business, can you afford it?" Qin Feng's true energy enveloped him, and he stood quietly in mid-air, his voice completely cold. "I will give you a chance to disappear from my eyes immediately, otherwise you will bear the consequences." Qin Feng put his hands behind his back, and his consciousness was still shrouded in the other courtyard of the killer dynasty, for fear that something might happen. "Catch him!" However, the person in charge of the inn did not want to stop there. He roared angrily and urged the inn's nursing staff to take action. The guards looked at each other, and finally they all rushed towards Qin Feng, with murderous intent soaring. Court death. At this moment, Qin Feng no longer hesitated. He let out a soft sigh, and a black mountain appeared in his palm. The mountains were engraved with flowers, birds, fish, and insects, and they moved forward to suppress them. A loud boom shook the entire inn, which was louder than the previous bariat. The seal of the Kinkan seal suppressed all the guards and instantly dispersed their attacks. Then, the Kinkan flow released a mighty force, suppressing all those people on the ground, unable to move at all. Hiss! This scene made countless cultivators in the inn gasp. Qin Feng suppressed dozens of guards and the person in charge of the inn with just one move, which made them tremble with fear. They were all cultivators, and they knew that behind this inn stood the royal family of the great Yan state. And these guards were also retired guards carefully trained by the royal family, and the most powerful had reached the 9th level of the Wuxiang heaven. These cultivators asked themselves, if they faced the guards of the inn, they would be caught in an instant and would definitely not get any benefits. However, this young man actually suppressed everyone with one move, which really made them dumbfounded. Boom! The innkeeper and the guardian elders burned their true chi desperately to overturn the dry seal that suppressed them, and they escaped. At this moment, they were all trembling with fear, and their backs were wet with cold sweat. Qin Feng didn't take their lives at the last moment, otherwise they would have been killed and turned into corpses. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbs feed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 624. All this happened in a flash. When the innkeeper and the guards looked up at Qin Feng, they found that Qin Feng and Yecheng Cheng had already disappeared. After Qin Feng made the dry seal, he disappeared without even looking back. Their speed was too fast. They disappeared suddenly. Who is this person? What happened just now? Just one palm suppressed dozens of cultivators in the Wuxiang realm. This is terrifying. Some cultivators who originally had high status and wanted to scold Qin Feng loudly were also frightened at this moment. They discussed enthusiastically and found it difficult to keep calm. Many people were very fortunate that it was the innkeeper who took the lead to question the other party, so that they could avoid a disaster. You must know that the cultivators living in this inn are all of small status and arrogant and domineering. Originally, they wanted to wait for the innkeeper to catch Qin Feng before giving him a good lesson. Seeing this scene, they quickly swallowed their previous thoughts. What a familiar figure! A breeze blew over the sky above the inn, causing the innkeeper to tremble all over, and endless fear came from deep in his heart. Qin Feng pierced through the void at the first time, and he jumped with Yecheng Cheng and came to the sky above the base of the Killer Dynasty. Just now, he used the fairy gold bullet to penetrate the body of the worshipper here, alarming some elders of the Killer Dynasty base. As Qin Feng and Yecheng Cheng descended here, powerful divine power fluctuations spread around them, which immediately alarmed many people. Swish! As the two appeared, 8 powerful elders from the Killer Dynasty appeared in the air and surrounded Qin Feng and the others. At this moment, Qin Feng frowned. He found that there were dozens of powerful aura fluctuations hidden below. Those people were all hiding in the dark, quietly waiting for the opportunity to attack. It must be said that this divine dynasty stronghold has countless masters, and its strength is also very powerful. It is several times more terrifying than the stronghold that Qin Feng had destroyed in the mountains before. Obviously, the people of the Killer Divine Dynasty have sent more masters to the Great Yan Kingdom. Just the two of you dare to break in here, you really don't know how to live or die. Several strong men in the Wuxiang realm surrounded Qin Feng and Yecheng Cheng. When they saw that there were only Qin Feng and Yecheng Cheng, they all said coldly, "Kill you, I am enough." Qin Feng shouted coldly, his fiery eyes and powerful soul power enveloped the entire villa. "Who are you, dare to look down on us?" At this time, 2 more strong men in the quasi-prince realm came out of nowhere, and their words were cold and contained shocking murderous intent. Qin Feng stared at them, fearless like a demon god, and Yecheng Cheng also stared at these people coldly, full of strong fighting spirit. "What are you two here for? Why did you break into my Ziahe's mansion?" At this time, another middle-aged man floated into the air, his eyes swept over Qin Feng and Yecheng Cheng, trying to see through their faces. "Why are you so hypocritical? What am I going to do? Don't you know in your heart?" Qin Feng's eyes contained murderous intent, and the divine power shrouded him, and Yecheng Cheng dispersed, revealing the figures of the two. "It turned out to be you two." At this moment, an elder of the Killer Divine Dynasty saw the appearance of Qin Feng and Yecheng Cheng and exclaimed, "Just the two of you dare to come to my Killer Divine Dynasty, you really look down on us too much." The middle-aged man who called himself Ziahe spoke coldly. He and the spies around him had learned that there were only 2 people coming, so he showed up. At this moment, after seeing the figures of Qin Feng and Yecheng Cheng again, he immediately felt relieved. Instead of staying in your Suzaku Holy Land and living the rest of your life quietly like a coward, you actually dared to break in here. You really don't know how to live or die. Xiaohe held a fierce weapon and pointed at Qin Feng from a distance. Qin Feng escaped from the hands of their killers in the Killer Divine Dynasty repeatedly, breaking the myth that no one had escaped from their Killer Divine Dynasty for thousands of years. Are you saying that you don't know how to live or die? Qin Feng's eyes bloomed with two golden lights, looking at Xiaohe in front of him. He felt the breath of the Xia family of Dian on this person. This person might be a fish that slipped through the net of the Xia family. Qin Feng, you destroyed my Xia family and dared to provoke the Killer Divine Dynasty. Today, you will never come back. Xiaohe shouted, his words were murderous, holding a long knife, and quickly retreated to the back. Because he found that Qin Feng's consciousness locked him, so he had to retreat quickly, otherwise, he would follow the end of the Xia family. Although Xiaohe was also very strong, after seeing Qin Feng's successive methods, he already knew that he was no match for Qin Feng if he fought alone. There was no doubt that his decision was correct, but unfortunately, he underestimated Qin Feng's speed and overestimated the skills of the elders of the Killer Dynasty who came to help. Qin Feng directly took out the Juexian sword and slashed it towards the sky. A thick red sword light, like lightning, crossed the sky for dozens of feet. With a puff, Xiaohe was chopped into a bloody mist by Qin Feng on the spot. Although the opponent had clearly reached the realm of the princes, he could not stop it at all and was crushed to pieces by Qin Feng's thick sword light, leaving nothing behind. Hiss! Below the Killer Divine Dynasty, many young cultivators exclaimed, their faces completely changed color. An elder of their divine dynasty was killed by Qin Feng in an instant, which frightened them. The faces of the other elders of the Killer Divine Dynasty were even darker. Qin Feng killed one of their colleagues with just one sword, which was too terrible. Yeqing Cheng, you brought Qin Feng to the station of my Killer Divine Dynasty to commit crimes. Have you really forgotten the kindness of the Killer Divine Dynasty for training you over the years? An old man of the Killer Divine Dynasty had a cold voice. His strength had reached the first level of the princes. At this moment, he was looking coldly at Yeqing Cheng on the side and questioning her. Yeqing Cheng was once the goddess of the Killer Divine Dynasty. After she was captured by Qin Feng, she did not tell Qin Feng any secrets of the Killer Divine Dynasty. But the people of the Killer Dynasty didn't know how to save her, and they were afraid that she would expose the secrets of the Killer Dynasty, so they sent people to kill her, which made her side with Qin Feng. Haha, the grace of raising me is really a joke. You Killer Dynasty are inhumane. Over the years, I have fulfilled my duties for the Killer Dynasty and repaid all the kindness. But now, you treat me as an abandoned child and send people to kill me. I have already severed all ties with you. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 625. Yeqingchen's hair was dancing, and her eyes were full of chill. From the moment when the Killer God Dynasty regarded her as an abandoned son and sent people to attack and kill her, she had drawn a clear line between the Killer God Dynasty and the Killer God Dynasty in her heart. She asked herself that she was not a good person, but before the people of Shen Dynasty killed her, she had never done anything to offend the Killer Shen Dynasty. Now, as long as the Killer God Dynasty exists, she cannot survive, so she and the Killer God Dynasty can only fight to the death. Okay, you are indeed two evildoers who don't know how to live or die. No matter what, the Killer Dynasty is not a place for you to run wild. Be wild. I will not only be wild today, but I will also raise your stronghold to the ground and spread your ashes. Qin Feng sneered. He held the immortal sword in his hand and pushed forward in the void. He was surrounded by several elders, but he was not afraid. Very good. Surrounded by the elders of our dynasty, you are still so arrogant and don't take my Killer Dynasty seriously at all. The Killer God looked at an elder with a heavy face, and a buzz sound appeared above his head, and a golden spear flowed with endless murderous intent. Court death. Qin Feng didn't take him seriously at all. He pressed forward with the immortal sword in hand. What he cared about was the offering that he had already penetrated with the immortal gold bullet. Chi! The absolute immortal sword slashed forward, and the thick sword light tore through the void, filling the air with a dazzling light that made it impossible to look directly. The elders around him wanted to stop him, but it was too late. He watched Qin Feng helplessly as he chopped the elder in half, even his weapon into two pieces, and died an untimely death. Kill. Court death. The elders of the killer dynasty became completely angry. They roared and sent out endless sound waves. The magic weapons and weapons intertwined with blazing light and flooded towards Qin Feng, turning into thousands of giant waves. Qin Feng's fiery golden eyes emitted two rays of sword light that penetrated the void. His gaze became tens of feet long in the void and struck down like a stormy wave. At the same time, the immortal sword flew into the sky and turned into a phoenix dancing in the sky to split the void, causing a harsh scream to sound from the heaven and earth, as if the sound of death was ringing. Countless magic weapons and moves were blocked directly in front by Qin Feng, and a deafening sound was heard, destroying everything. Buzz. At this time, a golden seal appeared in front of the oldest old man of the Killer God dynasty. The seal shook slightly and turned into a golden swan eye in the void, suppressing Qin Feng. Come. One of the mythical beasts in the swan eye legend, a golden light filled the air, trying to suppress Qin Feng below, and its power was extremely powerful. Clang. Qin Feng slashed forward with the immortal sword. As a top-notch weapon, the immortal sword was made of immortal gold and flowed with endless runes. It slashed forward and was indestructible. There was a sound of gold and iron clashing, and the immortal sword was like a red dragon, destroying all obstacles and rushing past. The swan eye was cut in half by the immortal sword. As its parasitic weapon seal, under the sword light of the immortal sword, it turned into scrap metal and fell into the void. Puff. The elder of the assassin dynasty received a backlash. He opened his mouth and spat out a bloody sword. His breath suddenly became weak and he fell into the void. Qin Fengruo strolled in the courtyard, stepped on the immortal steps and rushed past, and directly chopped off the opponent's head with the absolute immortal sword, causing him to completely fall. What the hell, what's going on? Why did Elder Wang die? Some of the messengers from the assassin dynasty below, as well as the cultivators, were all stunned, with incredulous looks in their eyes. The moment just now was so dazzling that they couldn't even see what was happening. In the Killer Dynasty, countless young monks were in chaos. Many of these people joined the Killer Dynasty voluntarily, because the Killer Dynasty was too mysterious and extraordinary to accommodate their sins. Today, this rumored extremely terrifying place was actually broken through by someone, and two elders were killed in an instant, which made them all pale with horror. Brush, brush, brush. Around him, there were 6 elders of the Killer Dynasty, who finally surrounded Qin Feng. They all took action together, sacrificing various weapons and magic weapons. The terrifying sword light and sword energy slashed forward, and the void exploded. Bang! Qin Feng still didn't move. He used the immortal sword in his left hand and the Qian seal and the Kun seal in his right hand. The two hand seals were intertwined and turned into a huge Qinkan seal. Like a small world, it was suppressing towards the front. At the same time, Qin Feng's immortal sword swept away in an instant, covering the entire sky and causing the buildings to shake. The 6 elders were all directly repelled by Qin Feng. Their eyes showed horror and they quickly retreated towards the rear. Qin Feng's Qinkan seal followed up and directly suppressed the 3 people below. At the same time, the other 3 people avoided the sword light of the Juexian sword and quickly retreated towards the rear. I didn't let you run away, can you run away? Qin Feng's cold voice came. He stepped on the immortal steps, and instantly passed the blessing of the 9 forbiddens. His speed reached an astonishing level and he crossed the void. However, in the blink of an eye, Qin Feng caught up with the three people and instantly launched the terrifying Feng Guiyujushin move. Qi. The void was trembling wildly. Qin Feng's phoenix danced in the sky, its power was earth-shattering, and with the blessing of the Nine Forbiddens, it tore the void apart, which was extremely terrifying. Puff, puff, puff. The void collapsed, and the three elders of the Assassin dynasty were blasted into blood mist by Qin Feng's Chuexian sword, and even their weapons were shattered into powder. Qin Feng's means were too powerful, shocking everyone present. The other elders of the Assassin dynasty around him were so scared that their souls were about to die, and they wanted to escape. The three elders who were suppressed by Qin Feng's Qin Conceal also rushed out at the first time, but they were already seriously injured and all became frail. As long as they were attacked again, they would definitely die. Gudong. The three of them hurriedly poured pills into their mouths, trying to stabilize their bodies and replenish their vitality that was about to dissipate. However, Qin Feng would not give them a chance at all. He stepped on the Tianxian step and turned into a meteor, rushing past. Puff, puff, puff. The Juexian sword moved forward without hesitation, emitting a dazzling light, directly chopping off the heads of the three elders of the Killer God dynasty, causing their blood to spurt out, turning them into headless corpses and falling into the sky. This scene shocked everyone present, and countless elders on the ground flew up into the air, wanting to save the three people, but they were already halfway there. How dare you! The elders of the Killer God dynasty knew that if they did not unite against the enemy at this moment, they would definitely be killed one by Qin Feng. They flew up into the air and attacked Qin Feng together, wanting to kill him. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 626. Who is he? Why is he so terrifying? The two elders attacked together and were killed. They were completely powerless to resist. How could this person be so powerful? Is he an outstanding person from the ancient Holy Land? In the courtyard below, countless young monks were horrified to death. They could not accept that the mysterious and extraordinary killer of the elder of the divine dynasty was killed by a young monk. Of course, as low-level monks from the Killer God dynasty, they would naturally not be informed of Qin Feng's identity. They would not even know that a man named Qin Feng had repeatedly escaped from the hands of the killers of their Killer dynasty. This would lower the reputation of their Killer dynasty among the younger generation of disciples. The surrounding elders were all stunned. Qin Feng took action and killed all the elders in the Suzaku Holy Land in front of them, making them all unable to control themselves. Kill! Qin Feng shouted again. He came here just to destroy the Assassin dynasty. Although this place is not the real location of the Assassin dynasty branch hall, this does not prevent him from delisting this place. The speed of the immortal step Qin Feng was extremely fast, and he was invincible with his intention to kill the God King. Although these elders were extraordinary in strength, they had not yet reached the realm of princes and were not Qin Feng's opponent at all. Countless assassins of the elders penetrated the void and attacked Qin Feng, but Qin Feng beheaded them all. Moreover, the immortal sword flew into the sky, and the phoenix danced in the sky, turning into a huge phoenix, crossing the void, and directly cut off several people's shoulders, and their blood spilled into the sky. At this moment, Qin Feng's long hair was dancing wildly, as if he was in a deserted land. He was enveloped by the vision of the God King, which suppressed all the masters of the surrounding Killer dynasty. The Killer elders who surrounded Qin Feng were all frightened and retreated to the rear, not daring to approach Qin Feng. At this moment, a huge phoenix was soaring over the other courtyard, breaking through the fog of the formation, and could no longer hide it. Such movement attracted countless monks from the imperial city of the Yan Kingdom. There were guards in the imperial city who quickly gathered and rushed towards this place. A large number of monks appeared in the air, staring at this place. A courtyard was breached, and the spread of divine power suppressed countless monks, which was jaw-dropping. What happened? Why does that person look so familiar? He looks like God King Qin Feng. Many monks were talking about it. They noticed Qin Feng's vision of the God King and exclaimed. It was unbelievable. It is said that that other courtyard is a merchant's residence. Does Qin Feng really think that there is no one in our country, Yan, when he carries out this extermination? This son is so abominable, he really doesn't take our country, Great Yan, seriously. There were different opinions. The monks had cold eyes and hid in the crowd to transmit their message. Obviously, they couldn't stand what Qin Feng did. At this time, an elder from the Assassin dynasty came up with a plan. He looked at Yecheng Cheng, who was aside, and instantly separated a group of people to attack Yecheng Cheng. You stop Qin Feng, let's catch Yecheng Cheng. An elder from the Killer dynasty had cold eyes. He saw that since he couldn't hold Qin Feng, he might as well stop Qin Feng while they went to capture Yecheng Cheng to threaten the other party. Don't overestimate your capabilities. When Qin Feng heard this, he was not worried about Yecheng Cheng at all. A terrifying murderous intention bloomed in his eyes, causing the elder who spoke to retreat in shock. However, the elder's words had already been spoken, and other people around him suddenly felt that they saw hope, and several people immediately surrounded Yecheng Cheng. Aer, just follow behind and eat the ashes. At this moment, the dragon horse roared. It did not attack these elders of the Killer dynasty at all. Instead, it turned into a bolt of lightning, carrying Yecheng Cheng, piercing the void, and disappearing here. As Long Ma left with Yecheng Cheng, these elders instantly looked at each other and hurriedly chased after him. However, despite their extreme speed, they could not catch up with Ryoma's shadow at all, and in the end they had to turn back. How about it? The elder who spoke just now had extremely urgent eyes and asked Yecheng Cheng if they had caught him. Let them run away. I don't know why that beast is quite weird. It is too fast and has extreme speed. The master of the Killer God dynasty said that he chased for tens of thousands of meters, but he couldn't even see the opponent's shadow. No matter what, since we can't catch up with Yecheng Cheng, let's activate the weapons together to kill Qin Feng. Finally, a very old elder stood up to take charge of the overall situation. They gathered together, surrounded Qin Feng, and sacrificed a big bell, which bloomed with terrifying light. Buzz. As the big purple bell appeared, terrifying energy flowed out. The runes of energy and principle were engraved on the big clock, vibrating in the void, and ripples flowed out. Earth immortal magical treasure. In the distant sky, countless monks felt the expanded power of these magic weapons, and they were all shocked. They searched the entire Great Yan Kingdom for earthly immortal level magic weapons, but could not find a few. I am afraid that apart from the Imperial Palace of Dian Kingdom, there will be no more items to be found, but they did not expect that among the others of a businessman, an earthly immortal magic weapon would appear, which made them all tremble with fear. No wonder Qin Feng has set his sights on this other courtyard. Don't complain here, there is a paradise. How could a merchant's villa possess such terrifying weapons? This place is extraordinary. In the distant sky, countless monks were stunned, and a cold light bloomed in their eyes. What happened here was earth-shattering, and they were all scared to death. How could a mansion that could produce earth-level magic weapons be just the mansion of a mere businessman? The water inside must be very deep. As this earth immortal level bell was suspended in the air, Qin Feng's eyes narrowed. This weapon was extremely terrifying. It was full of blood. It was obviously a terrifying and vicious weapon of the Killer dynasty. Although I can't show up if there is something wrong with the offering, the magic weapon offered is enough to kill your kid. Several elders from the princely realm said in a cold voice that this magic weapon is a fierce weapon of the Killer dynasty. The inner rhyme runes in it are extremely powerful, but to activate it, it requires a huge amount of divine power. If one of them uses it, he may be sucked directly into the energy and become a mummy in an instant, so they are ready to work together to unleash the power of this fierce weapon. Something happened. Haha, something happened indeed. He must have been killed before. A sneer appeared at the corner of Qin Feng's mouth. He was sure that not long ago, he pierced the head of the enshrined person with the immortal weapon Barrett and killed him directly. Because when he killed the other party, a diamond scratch-off card exploded in the house in the other courtyard. This was the result that the other party was indeed dead. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 627. How do you know? The elder was shocked. Not long ago, the worshipper in their stronghold died suddenly. When they rushed into the room, they only saw a body. In order to stabilize the morale of the soldiers, they immediately sealed off the other courtyard and informed the outside world that the worshipper was ill and was in retreat. They said that the movement coming from the house was the reaction caused by the divine power after the breakthrough of the worshipper's cultivation. Such rhetoric successfully deceived the young monks of the Killer Dynasty. After all, although Immortal Barrett's immortal gold bullet was extremely powerful, it only left a big hole in the window and did not cause much commotion in the other courtyard. It turns out you did it. At this time, the elder of the Killer Dynasty finally came to his senses. He understood why Qin Feng and Yeching Cheng came at such a clever time. It turned out that their worshippers were killed by Qin Feng. You didn't know until now, but it's too late. I'll send you on your way right now. Qin Feng coldly reprimanded. Although the Earth Immortal grade bell that the other party took out was very scary, he was still not afraid. Whether his Absolute Immortal Sword or the Six Paths Immortal Sword, they are all superior weapons of the Earth Immortal and are indestructible. He is not afraid of the opponent's Earth Immortal ferocious soldiers. What's more, his divine power is like an ocean. His own divine power alone is deeper than all these elders put together. Suppress and kill. The elder of the Assassin Dynasty was not idle when he was talking. The elders around him worked together to activate the big purple bell. The big purple bell turned into a magical trajectory, bloomed with immortal brilliance, and spread hundreds of feet in an instant. Buzz. The big clock was like a small world, and the void beneath it was collapsing, swallowing up all the brilliance around it, making people's hair stand on end. Qin Feng's heart condensed, and he wanted to split the big purple bell with the immortal sword. However, this big purple bell, as a fierce weapon of the Killer Dynasty, has inexplicable power, and it immediately took Qin Feng in and suppressed him below. Qin Feng is taken in. What kind of weapon is this? Why is it so terrifying? The water in the other courtyard is definitely very deep. Countless monks who were watching from afar were stunned. The terrifying purple bell had unparalleled momentum, and the terrifying pressure that came from it frightened them. At this moment, after they saw Qin Feng, a powerful and terrifying person, being suppressed, they were all frightened. They swallowed subconsciously and trembled all over. Buzz. Suddenly, the big purple bell trembled, and a huge wave of sound came out. At this moment, the purple energy exploded in full, and the flowing qi swept in all directions, making countless monks around, their souls tremble, and their qi and blood were flowing. Follow the chorus. Quick, let's work together to refine this building. The elders of the Killer God Dynasty shouted loudly, and they all mobilized their own divine power to turn into flames and bless the purple bell to refine Qin Feng into fly ash. At first, the big purple bell was vibrating, and it was very violent, but gradually as they gathered their strength, the movement of Dazhong became smaller and smaller, and then they were immersed in it. It's done. Feeling the movement of the purple bell, the elders of the Killer Dynasty all looked happy. The extremely arrogant Qin Feng was suppressed and refined by them, which made them all let out a sigh of relief. Qin Feng escaped repeatedly in their hands, which became a shame to their branch of the killer dynasty. At this moment, they suppressed Qin Feng, which was definitely a great achievement for them, and they would definitely be greatly rewarded by the headquarters of the killer dynasty. Ha ha ha, Qin Feng, aren't you crazy? Why aren't you crazy now? Suppressed by Earth immortal weapons, even if you are a Delugo immortal, you will not be able to escape. Ha 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 ha, it's really satisfying. Countless elders and monks from the Killer God dynasty laughed loudly. Being able to suppress Qin Feng directly made them feel depressed, and they all felt like they were avenging their past humiliation. Clang! Suddenly, the big purple bell that had been silent made a loud noise. Immediately afterwards, a louder sound resounded, making the eardrums of countless monks around them shatter. Even their internal organs were shaking wildly, and the sound was earth-shattering. The next moment, something unbelievable happened. Qin Feng slashed the inner wall of the purple bell with the peerless sword in his hand, causing the bell to be covered with spider web-like cracks. At this moment, everyone around them was shocked. The earthly immortal medium weapon made of immortal gold represented sturdiness and immortality. However, such a terrifying and strong weapon had cracks, which they could not accept. Clang! Immediately afterwards, another more manic sound came. The big purple bell, under the bombardment of Qin Feng, directly shattered into fragments. A stream of fairy gold fragments streaked through the sky and the earth in all directions. These fairy gold fragments, shrouded by Qin Feng's soul, seemed to have eyes, and rushed towards the monks and elders of the killer dynasty. Puff, puff, puff. Immortal gold fragments swept across the sky, posing a great threat to the elders of the killer dynasty. Almost as soon as the guests were invited, dozens of people fell into the void and died without a burial place. At the same time, 6 of the elders who besieged Qin Feng were instantly penetrated, fell into the void, and were torn apart. At this moment, there were less than 10 elders left in the killer dynasty who were besieging Qin Feng. They were terrified. Even the earthly immortal weapons they offered could not suppress Qin Feng, and the other party killed and injured dozens of them with fragments. This was extremely terrifying. What should we do, brother? The remaining elders were all terrified. They looked at the oldest elder, who was their backbone and the one who presided over the overall situation here. What else can we do? Even if we admit defeat, he will not let us go. We can only fight him to the death. The old elder of the killer dynasty had determination and resentment in his eyes. He took the lead in flying towards Qin Feng, and his speed was extremely powerful. Seeing this scene, the other elders all showed decisiveness in their eyes. They flew into the air and attacked Qin Feng with the weapons and killing swords in their hands. The powerful sword energy merged with the void, making them extremely fast. Swoosh! When the swords of the elders were directed at Qin Feng in the void, something that stunned them happened. The elder who first said that he wanted to fight Qin Feng to the death suddenly stopped, and then turned into a ghost at a faster speed, piercing through the void in the distance. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 628. You. Your uncle. At this moment, the elders who attacked Qin Feng with all their strength were all stunned, swearing, and completely unbelievable. The leading elder who was so righteous just now actually deceived them and was the first to escape. They all spit foul language. Not only them, but even the countless years of cultivation of the killer divine dynasty below were stunned. The elders who were usually very majestic actually ran away so shamelessly at this moment, which made them all confused. And the countless cultivators and people who were observing this place from afar were even more confused in the wind. The elders in the other courtyard actually framed all their fellow disciples and escaped, which was really shameful to them. Oh my God, this is too shameless. A man of the second level of the lords turned around and ran away. This is enough to show how much pressure Qin Feng brought to them. He deceived his colleagues to buy time, and then turned around and ran away. Isn't this too shameless? Countless cultivators were talking about it. Everything this person did really made them messy. Look, why are these people's clothes so strange? These people are definitely not the guards of the merchants. I'm afraid they have a very important origin. Otherwise, Qin Feng would not have killed them all. At this time, those cultivators and people had also noticed something wrong. The sun of the Suzaku Holy Land was so cold and powerful that he must have a lot of water in it. Want to run, did I agree? Qin Feng's eyes contained a murderous intent, and the speed of the Tianxian step was so fast that he crossed the void. His figure disappeared from the spot in an instant, and when he reappeared, he had already come to the back of the fleeing elder. The Juexian sword in his hand was emitting dazzling light, becoming more and more unfathomable. Qi La. The Juexian sword was unstoppable, and the red energy sword light slashed forward. The sword energy that was dozens of feet long instantly split the elder into pieces, and fell into the void, turning into blood mist. Hiss! Such a fast speed, such a terrifying body movement. The holy sun of the Suzaku Holy Land has become several times stronger. Seeing this scene, countless cultivators were terrified. All this shocked everyone present. Qin Feng's invincible figure filled their hearts and lingered. Okay, it's your turn next. Qin Feng turned around and stepped on the Tianxian step and went back. His speed was so fast that those people didn't have time to escape before he approached them again. At this time, the entire courtyard of the Killer Divine Dynasty became completely silent. All the monks of the Killer Divine Dynasty were stunned. This scene was unbearable for them. They were terrified to the extreme. Facing these fearful figures, Qin Feng was unmoved. The evil deeds committed by the people of the Killer Divine Dynasty were outrageous. They forced the children of ordinary people to be cultivated as immortal seedlings. Countless children were locked up and killed together. Only a few people left were qualified to become immortal seedlings of their Killer Divine Dynasty. These evil deeds were really unscrupulous and were the real source of evil. Phoenix dances in the sky. Qin Feng said lightly. He waved the absolute immortal sword and soared into the air in the void. A huge phoenix flowed dazzling flames. Under the blessing of the Nine Forbidden, the flowing divine fire swept across the sky and covered the entire courtyard. This brilliance can be seen tens of thousands of meters away. A huge phoenix burned everything madly and bloomed with sacred light. The elders of the Killer Dynasty were instantly swept by the phoenix and turned into ashes, dying. At the same time, the phoenix continued to float above Qin Feng to kill several other elders. Qin Feng used the dry seal in his left hand and the kun seal in his right hand to suppress the other killers of the Killer Dynasty. The terrifying big handprint pressed down, causing blood flowers to bloom here, shocking. However, Qin Feng did not show any mercy. When he used the soul-searching technique to observe the young disciples of the Killer Dynasty, he found that none of these young people were innocent. He made a strong and decisive move, and the dry seal and the kun seal suppressed downwards, causing blood flowers to bloom one by one, which was extremely terrifying. The monks of the Killer Dynasty were all trembling. They fled in all directions, trying to escape. At this time, Qin Feng turned into a killing god, and like a demon lord descending to the earth, every time he made a move, he would harvest several fresh lives. All the monks and common people who were watching the battle from afar were stunned. They saw Qin Feng's ruthless attack, which made them tremble with fear. Gudong! Countless monks who were watching the battle gasped. Qin Feng turned into a killing god and killed people everywhere, which surprised and frightened them to the extreme. The son of the Suzaku Holy Land is too cruel. Isn't he afraid of hurting the harmony of heaven? Such a terrifying and powerful attack, isn't he afraid of being punished by heaven? Some common people and monks couldn't bear to see the scene, and they were all amazed in their hearts. They couldn't understand why Qin Feng was so terrifying and ruthless. Qin Feng's face was extremely calm. He stepped on the Tianxian step to harvest lives here. Every time he attacked, he killed several killers with the Qin seal, making them sleep forever. Moreover, the Juexian sword was under the control of his consciousness, piercing through here. Every time it passed, several killers lay dead on the spot. You are a devil. You will definitely go to the 10th level of hell. The assassins of the Assassin dynasty completely collapsed. They were all terrified and collapsed to the ground when they saw Qin Feng, who was like a demon lord descending from the earth. Devil? Compared with you, I am still far behind. However, even if I become a devil, I will never let you go. Qin Feng's voice was cold. He didn't care about anything else. He used his powerful spirit to scan the 10 directions. Once he found someone who had committed a murder, he would kill them all. Stop, this is the imperial city of my great Yan kingdom. You can't be so presumptuous here. Qin Feng, even if you are the son of the Suzaku Holy Land, you can't run rampant in my great Yan kingdom. At this moment, the generals and guards who came from the great Yan kingdom all flew into the air and surrounded Qin Feng. They were full of terrifying fighting spirit, and all the swords in their hands were aimed at Qin Feng. They could only kill the vanguard at the order of the general. Qin Feng's actions were too much for those who had rushed out of the sea of blood and corpses to bear. They could not bear the loss of one life after another. Qin Feng, even if you are the son of the Suzaku Holy Land, you cannot kill people like this. Hurry up and surrender, or I will kill you without mercy. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 629. At this moment, the generals and soldiers of Dian Imperial City surrounded Qin Feng with murderous intent in the sky. Huh? What do you mean? Qin Feng's eyes were furious. He glanced at everyone present, showing a domineering aura that looked down on the world. As soon as Qin Feng's words came out, the melon eaters in the distance fell silent, and everyone's heart beat wildly. Qin Feng actually showed such a strong performance in the face of the soldiers and generals guarding the imperial city of the Yan kingdom. It was really frightening. Haha, you are killing people in the imperial city of Yan kingdom, and you still ask us what we mean. The generals guarding the imperial city looked at Qin Feng with indifference and murderous intent. Many soldiers gathered together, surrounded by murderous aura. They united to form a powerful killing formation. Although the cultivation of these monks is not top-notch, the general trend created by their joint action can gather endless murderous intent and suppress all directions. Do you know who I killed? Qin Feng laughed when he heard the words, with indifference in his eyes and meaningful words. I don't care who you kill, this is the imperial city of the Yan kingdom, and you are not allowed to run wild here. War General Zhang Hao had an expressionless face. With a wave of his hand, the soldiers behind him instantly surrounded Qin Feng, holding Tianjie with murderous intentions. As his words fell, an invisible pressure spread in all directions instantly. The momentum flowing from here made all the melon-eating monks in the distance look condensed. Qin Feng has gained a great reputation in the imperial city. Since his birth, he has never suffered a defeat. Even the second Prince Yanyu was directly destroyed by the opponent. He has never been subdued with such fighting prowess. Tonight Qin Feng was surrounded by countless soldiers and generals again. This was definitely a big catastrophe and would stir up a bloody storm in this place again. As a general of the great Yan kingdom, you actually tolerated the killers of the Killer dynasty and caused trouble here, or is it that the Killer dynasty is actually supported by your great Yan kingdom? Qin Feng had a strong murderous intention, and the other party accused him regardless of whether he was innocent or not, which made him completely angry. The Killer dynasty is a cancer in the ancient continent. The appearance of these people here is definitely not as simple as it seems on the surface. Ahead, we know that some people in the imperial city of Dian Kingdom are closely involved with the assassin dynasty. These people must have received orders from certain people to be able to get here so quickly. What, this villa is the stronghold of the assassin dynasty. So, all the people Qin Feng killed were killers from the killer dynasty. This is doing justice for heaven. Not only is there no fault at all, but he should also be rewarded by the great Yan kingdom. Countless monks in the far sky were frightened when they heard this. They had always thought that the water in this courtyard was very deep, but they did not expect that the killer dynasty existed here. If this is really the case, everything Qin Feng did makes sense. You said these people are from the killer dynasty. Do you have any evidence? General Zhang Hao's expression condensed, and Qin Feng's words made him feel an invisible pressure. They were just ordered to come here to maintain safety, but they did not expect that the person they wanted to protect was a killer from the assassin dynasty. For the evidence, we only need to capture the remaining people and we will know them once we ask. Qin Feng's eyes were expressionless. He was floating quietly in the air, his white Taoist robes floating lightly, not stained with blood, as if he were an emperor in the dust. Okay, I'll send someone to investigate right now. War General Zhang Hao had a look of indifference in his eyes. With a wave of his hand, several people flew out in an instant and landed in the other courtyard, gathering the remaining people together. Qin Feng didn't say much. He stepped aside and watched. He is not worried at all that the General Zhang Hao will kill and silence the remaining people. Under his fierce eyes, if he wants to kill people and silence them, it is tantamount to seeking death. The soldiers who went down to check soon saw someone coming from the air. One of them raised his hands to Zhang Hao and said, "Young men have already checked it out. It is indeed a stronghold of the killer dynasty below." After the soldier finished his report, they presented some information they found from the other courtyard of the killer dynasty. Soon, they found many children from the backyard. These people were all members of the killer dynasty. The children were secretly searched and prepared to be cultivated as fairy seedlings. This time, the killer dynasty was directly destroyed by Qin Feng and rescued these children before they had time to turn away. So many kids. Oh my God, where did the killer dynasty capture so many children? This is really a stronghold of the killer god dynasty. The killer god dynasty actually harvested so many fairy seedlings. It's really abominable. Countless monks in the sky were talking about it, and some soldiers searched for some information about the killer dynasty, as well as several old mothers who took care of children. This made everyone here understand that what Qin Feng said was true. This courtyard is indeed a stronghold of the killer dynasty. There is no doubt that these children who can be favored by the killer god are undoubtedly people with excellent skills. They will definitely get twice the result with half the effort on the way to practice. If these people are adopted by the great Yan kingdom and grow up in the future, they will definitely greatly increase the strength of the great Yan kingdom. After all, the people of the killer dynasty, in order to avoid future troubles, destroyed most of these children's relatives and made them homeless orphans. You can't take these children away. I'm going to take them to the Suzaku Holy Land. Qin Feng's eyes bloomed with powerful coercion. They were very powerful. All these children captured by the killer god could embark on the path of cultivation. As long as they can be cultivated in the Suzaku Holy Land, even if only a dozen Holy Lord level figures can be grown, the strength of the Suzaku Saint will be greatly increased. What's more, he came out of these people, so naturally he has to decide whether these children should stay or go. Qin Feng, what are you talking about? These children are our subjects of the Yan kingdom, how can you allow you to take them away? Zhang Hao's eyes were slightly cold. Although it has been stated that this matter has nothing to do with Qin Feng, these children have extraordinary abilities and Qin Feng must not be allowed to take them with them. Because, if these children are trained by the Yan kingdom's military, their future achievements will be limitless. As long as a few dozen of these people can survive, it will be enough to greatly increase the strength of their Yan country. Qin Feng looked calm. He landed from the void step by step, and soon came to Zhang Hao. He looked down at him and said, "I saved these fairy seedlings. Of course, I can only save them to make decisions, no one can take them away without my consent, I said so." Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 630. Qin Feng, you are too arrogant. This is the imperial city of the Yan Kingdom, not your Suzaku Holy Land. Zhang Hao said harshly. His eyes were sharp and he could feel that these children's vitality and blood were astonishing. Some of them had energy and blood as strong as wild dragons. How could he let go in vain? That's right, this is the imperial city of Dian Kingdom. How can we allow you to run wild here? There was a gloomy voice among the crowd, which seemed extremely malicious and erratic. Do you think you have the capital to bargain with me? Qin Feng was not moved at all. He had saved these children, so it was naturally impossible for them to be owned by others. What's more, it is more appropriate for these people to follow the Suzaku Holy Land than to continue to stay in the Dian Kingdom. There are people in the Dian Kingdom who are conniving at evil and are deeply involved with the Killer Dynasty. If these children were left in the Yan Kingdom, they would probably fall into the trap again and be picked up by people from the Killer Dynasty. What an arrogant junior, do you know that you don't take Emperor Yan seriously? Emperor Yan is the supreme leader of Dian. These children are the subjects of Emperor Yan, so naturally they must be settled by the Kingdom of Yan. Among the crowd, there was still that one person transmitting the voice. His voice was erratic, making it difficult to distinguish the direction. This person pretended to be a bystander, but secretly instigated the relationship between Qin Feng and the Yan Kingdom, hoping to reap the benefits. Are you from the Assassin Dynasty? Do you think I can't do anything to you if you hide in the crowd? Qin Feng's golden eyes instantly stretched out his palm, and his powerful strength instantly enveloped a figure in the crowd, and he shot towards the other person. When the man saw what had happened, he immediately rose into the air and tried to escape. However, Qin Feng's palm came down like a sacred mountain and enveloped the man. The man looked horrified, with an incredible look in his eyes. He was blown apart by Qin Feng's palm and turned into a bloody mist. There is no doubt that this person is a secret killer of the Killer God Dynasty. The other party wanted to use Emperor Yan to suppress Qin Feng, but he never wanted to be discovered by Qin Feng and killed directly. Zhang Hao's heart was awe-inspiring, and his eyelids were twitching. He could see that the killer who had just escaped was so powerful that he was in the realm of lords, and Qin Feng killed him with one palm. This was really decisive and fierce. Countless monks in the distance were all shocked. Qin Feng raised his hand and killed a killer who was hiding in the crowd. This was really powerful. Listen, I am not discussing with you, but informing you. Qin Feng's eyes swept across Zhang Hao's body. His expression was extremely cold, and the aura spreading out made Zhang Hao's heart tremble. Whoosh! At this time, a large number of people came from the far sky, and Ye Qingcheng led the people from the Suzaku Holy Land. The cultivation of these people was all very terrifying, and the pressing void was trembling wildly. They instantly descended on Qin Feng's side. See the sun! Countless elders and monks from the Zuk mansion rushed over and saluted Qin Feng in unison. These people were numerous and their strength had already overwhelmed all the soldiers brought by Zhang Hao. You don't need to be polite, go and bring those immortal seedlings from the Killer God Dynasty back to your home, and ask them carefully if there is anyone in their home. Those who want to go home, Send them back. Those who don't want to go home, or have no home, let them join the Suzaku Holy Land. Qin Feng stared at Zhang Hao, the general, and just announced his decision to himself, completely ignoring the other party. If these children were just Qin Feng himself, they would indeed be very troublesome, but behind him stood the Suzaku Holy Land. These extraordinary fairy seedlings were enough to become the foundation of the future of the Suzaku Holy Land. Zhang Hao originally wanted to say something, but due to Qin Feng's strong strength, although he had already sent people to move reinforcements, it was obviously too late. Chu was helpless, so he could only stare at the people in the Suzaku Holy Land, taking all the fairy seedlings away and settling them. Lord Holy Sun, according to Miss Yes instructions, we found the branch of the Killer Dynasty. At this time, an elder from the Suzaku Holy Land brought the news to Qin Feng, which made Qin Feng's eyes light up. This villa is a stronghold of the Killer Dynasty. Being able to raise this place to the ground is a great achievement. I will give you the credit for Zhejiang. Qin Feng looked at Zhang Hao and smiled coldly. In order to avoid disturbing the situation, he and Yeching Cheng rode the dragon horse and flew into the air again to go to the real branch hall of the Suzaku Holy Land. The turmoil here came to an end again, and the monks watching from a distance all gasped and fell into deep shock. What happened tonight was so shocking that none of them recovered from their surprise. When they came to their senses, Qin Feng had already left this place and rushed to the location of the branch hall of the Killer Dynasty. Soon Qin Feng and the others arrived, over a quiet courtyard in the western suburbs of Dian Kingdom. This is a small group of mountains outside the city of Dian State. Many big shots and powerful people have properties here. It is an extremely smart area. Here, there are rock areas and flowing water, and countless buildings are hidden in the mountains, making it look like a fairyland. Swipe. As Qin Feng and Yeching Cheng just approached, a slope control trial suddenly appeared in the mountains. Countless masters surrounded the two people, exuding powerful energy. It turned out that the high-ranking officials of the Killer God Dynasty did not flee after learning that the stronghold was destroyed by Qin Feng. Instead, they laid a net and waited for Qin Feng to seek his own death. In the branch hall of the Killer Crowd, the most important masters of the Yanbei Killer God Dynasty gathered, among which the branch hall master was the strongest. After discovering that Qin Feng had destroyed a stronghold, the other party immediately ordered the killers to make adequate preparations. Boy, you dare to offend my Killer God Dynasty with just two of you. Today, you will not be able to leave this place. The branch hall master of the Killer God Dynasty sneered, and the majestic divine power was released back, spreading like the power of heaven. The strength of the fifth level of the Lords was undoubtedly revealed. With such a terrifying cultivation, it is no wonder that the other party did not flee, but waited for Qin Feng to fall into the net. Master asked me to meet him. At this time, a powerful young man flew into the air. He was a disciple carefully trained by the branch hall master of the Killer God Dynasty. As the genius of the Killer Divine Dynasty, he ranks at the top of the human list. Recently, because Qin Feng killed one of the sons of the Killer Divine Dynasty, he was put on the agenda as a candidate for the Son of God. As long as he can make contributions, plus the relationship with the master of the branch hall, he can become the Son of God of the Killer Divine Dynasty and become a core member of the Killer Divine Dynasty. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix.